Alright, good afternoon. Welcome to the STEM Shed. Here I'm going to do a problem. I'm just going to kind of, this is something, the arc sine, the derivative of the arc sine. And a lot of times it's, derivatives of your sine functions, cosines, they're understandable because you end up getting, derivative of sine is cosine, stuff like that. And it's easy, but then here you do this arc sine, and then suddenly you don't even have a sine or cosine or tangent or secant or anything. There's nothing, and you're like, wait, where did this even come from? Now, one tactic people do, of course, and this is a tactic I recommend, is if you go to this little chart thing I have right here, you'll see the arc sine. Maybe you can see it. I don't know. Arc sine of x is equal to 1 over the square root of 1 minus x squared. And most teachers just tell you to memorize it, but I like to know how to get there. And so I'm going to show you how to get here, just using your own wits. And you can do this for other ones, though it gets harder depending on which ones. Some of it involves just knowing trig identities. So let's start out with something here, okay? So we have here y is equal to inverse, or not inverse, but arc sine of x. I didn't tell you that. Now, if you want the inverse of this, I'm going to go in the inverse in a different video. I thought it was worth explaining, but I'm going to do on another video. But the thing to remember is, always swap. So you do x is equal to sine of x. Sine of y. Right? This is important. This is something we're going to need to know later on. All right? So, again, starting this, and the easiest way to do it is, we're going to take this, I'm going to put this over, I'm going to switch it. Sine of y, I'm going to do this here, is equal to x. Alright, great. In fact, let me move the x over. X over, right here. Alright, I'm going to get a better marker that's not dying. Alright, now, I'm going to take the derivative of both sides. Alright, so we got d over dx, and then d over dx. Alright. Well, this here, you're doing implicit differentiation. And of course, when you hear the word implicit differentiation, your first thought should be chain rule. Alright? So, you get sine of y, blah, blah, and you end up with, I'm going to come down here, cosine of y is equal to dy over cosine of y times dy over dx. That's equal, of course, this comes down to 1. Alright, and you're good. And then, of course, you come here and you end up dividing both sides. So you get dy over dx is equal to 1 over cosine of y. Alright, so we're there, and we got something cool. Alright, so this is not our answer. This is not that. And here's the reason why. This is going back to the trig identities, and luckily this is one of your easy trig identities to remember. And it's simple. 1 is equal to sine. Now I'm going to do it a little bit different. Instead of the little 2, I'm going to do sine squared here. Plus cosine. In fact, I'm going to do y. Hold on. I know. Cosine y. I'm going to put parentheses here and square it. And remember this. This is equal to 1. Alright? Now, what we have here, which is great for us, is that we have this cosine right here. This is what we want, because we can put this into this, and you do it. Of course, you do 1 minus sine of y. I'm keeping this here squared, and that is equal to cosine of y squared. All right, we're still not there, but again, take the square, and wow, you have cosine of y is equal to 1 minus sine. Let me move this drill out of the way. And see, good. Sine of y squared. Now remember, sine of y squared we have defined right here as x. Sine of y is defined as x. So let me make room. I probably should have planned this out better, but this is impromptu. Alright. So, coming back to here, so this is where I had dy over dx is equal to 1 over cosine of y. Alright, well guess what? We have our cosine of y right here. So that means that dy over dx is equal to 1 over, again, the square root of 1 minus sine of y squared. And we know sine of y is x, so this here becomes x. So again, this becomes 1 over the square root of 1 minus, x squared. And of course y is this, so we know that. We got d of sine of, we'll say arc sine, I don't want to get anybody confused, of x over dx is equal to this. And that's it. That's all it is. It's and if you can do this, you don't have to worry about when you're doing a test trying to remember all these here. Which, by the way, these things here I recommend, like little quick study guides. You can get from the internet for nothing if you're on college or university. They're in your bookstore. This one costs $6. So I recommend these. Get them. Your parents are definitely going to have no problem getting this. And if you're a parent, you should get this for your kid and let them hang on to it. I'll go into why this inverse stuff works later. I didn't want to do too much in one video. Hope this helps.